Sean Haney here with RealAgriculture.com and Real Ag Radio. We're at Farm Tech 2019 in Edmonton, Alberta, joined right now by Tom Steve, who is Executive Director with Alberta Wheat and Barley. How's it going, Tom?
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. So you just finished your AGM this morning. What were the big takeaways? Anything happen?
So we updated the membership on the integration of the Alberta Wheat and Barley Commission management teams, which that's taken place over the past year. We actually talked about that roughly a year ago at this very same place. So that's been extremely successful. We've realized cost savings of about $350,000 a year in terms of...
in 1 year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and that's a lot is related to salaries for sure. But we have a stronger management team now that is focused on 2 commissions.
Okay. And
we're very excited about the future.
Okay, so here's a question for you. So with the integration, why not still 2 boards? So you're, as executive director of both organizations, it has not been moved, though, into 1 board. How come not?
Well, first of all, we need a regulation change to do that.
Okay.
So under the Agricultural Marketing Products Act of Alberta, we do need to petition for a regulation change that may actually require a plebiscite of producers. We're not exactly sure how that would happen over time. And we need to consult with members. So there are some concerns about, whether or not barley, for example, which is a smaller acreage crop, would receive the same attention if we went to a single board structure. So at the Prairie Cereal Summit in Banff in December, we put forward a motion was put forward by members to amalgamate the board, or the 2 boards, and it was defeated. Okay. And today at the Alberta Wheat Commission annual meeting, the motion was endorsed. So, we're getting signals from our members that I think that we need to be careful about approaching the amalgamation of the governance structure. The management structure, that's already done. And the question is whether or not members would support a full amalgamation of the governance structures, which would mean we would go to 1 board.
So the looking into this kind of continues then at this point?
Yeah, for sure. And we'll consult with Marketing Council on that and see where it takes us. In other provinces, Manitoba, for example, is looking at amalgamating their commissions, and Grain Farmers of Ontario is probably the major example of 5 crops now under 1 commission. So we're not going to prejudge what our members will tell us, but certainly it's on the radar.
Yeah. Okay, cool. In terms of research, I know that probably came up today at the AGM. Where is Alberta Wheat and Barley stand on commitment to research in those crops?
Well, we're a major funder. All of the provincial wheat commissions are major funders of variety development, and we have been since our inception in 2012 in the case of the Alberta Wheat Commission. And so now we're taking over responsibility for variety development, and that was previously the domain of the Western Grains Research Foundation. So the core breeding agreements, which expire in 2020, so next year, are going to be taken over by the provincial wheat commissions. So there are significant funds going into variety development already from the provincial commissions, and even more in the future. We estimate for the Alberta Wheat Commission, when the new core agreements come into place, that will likely be an additional investment of about $2 million a year. So it's a significant amount of money.
And you got a new agronomist on staff too?
We do, yeah. Jeremy Boychin is our research extension agronomist, and we're very happy to have Jeremy on board. So again, that's a bit of developing the end state model of the Alberta Wheat Commission in terms of what is our value proposition to producers. And we think being a go-to resource in terms of agronomy and extension programs, and highlighting a lot of the research that we're already funding, that's going to be Jeremy's role going forward, and I know you've talked to him many times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Jeremy comes on Real Ag Radio once a month for our Agronomic Monday. He's also going to be profiled in our wheat school that Alberta Wheat kindly sponsors. So we're going to hear lots from Jeremy. For throughout the year. You mentioned varietal development. One of the big issues that's being discussed, not only here but really across Canada, is this whole area of value creation. Was that discussed today at the AGM?
So the Alberta Wheat Commission board put forward a board motion, and it really reflects the consensus of the 6 major cereals commissions in Western Canada. So Sask Wheat, Alberta Wheat, Manitoba Wheat and Barley, the Barley commissions in Saskatchewan, as well as POGA, Prairie Oak Growers. And we got together and we said, we need more consultation on these 2 models. We also need more information in order for farmers to be able to make informed decisions. And that's what we're asking for. And we also need a value proposition from the seed industry, and I don't think that has been clearly communicated at this point. Farmers see an additional levy potentially coming in the form of either an EPR or a trailing royalty on farm safe seed, but they don't necessarily see what the benefit is. So we've challenged the seed industry to actually articulate that. And and I think they have stepped up to a certain extent.
The Saskatoon meeting went a lot differently
and
than the other ones.
They're getting their message out. But in order for farmers to be able to understand the benefit to them, what's in it for me, they need to see that value proposition, not just the royalty on farm safe seed or the endpoint royalty at the elevator.
Is there good dialogue back and forth? Because my question is more consultation is a good thing. More information is a really good thing. At what point do we get to a crossroads where it's okay, we've consulted enough, now it's time to make a decision? Is that a year or 6 months? Is it 5 years?
Well, we have something coming up called a federal election.
That old...
which might get a little bit in the way.
It's going to.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
I think, the good news out of this discussion, and it's been a little bit rocky, is that there is a conversation going on now in the farm community, and I think that it started out, it was very emotional, and producers just didn't know what was going on. Now we're at a point where we're trying to share information. The Alberta seed growers, we're partnering with them on a session here at FarmTech, and let's get the information out, get everything on the table, and have a respectful discussion about what the future is in terms of cereals breeding in Western Canada, because it's not as complicated as just saying let's keep the current system, or not as simple as let's keep the current system the way it is, because it may or may not be sustainable.
Right.
So we do need to look at the future.
I really thought that this winter's big issue was going to be about the Grain Commission, and I know Alberta Wheat's been somewhat critical of some of the things the Grain Commission's been doing in terms of reclassification of varieties. That issue has quieted down. I think value creation really took a little bit more priority in the discussion. Where are you on that file?
Well, we're still pushing for changes in the mandate of the Canadian Grain Commission, particularly around outward weighing and inspection, which is a service that we think is redundant. 80% or more of the shipments going out of Vancouver, for example, are double inspected because of the requirements of the contracts and the requirements of the Grain Commission. So we think that's an added cost that's put onto farmers.
Is Sask Wheat and Manitoba Wheat and Barley, are they on the same page, or?
I think the Alberta Wheat Commission is taking more of a leadership role on that particular file at this point in time, but we're having discussions.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Tom, this has been fun. Thank you very, very much for giving us an update what's going on in Alberta Wheat, and good luck with the rest of FarmTech.
Thanks as always, Sean.